Hello, this is Les Blythe from IM Squared, Unleashing the Internet Marketer in You. The top tip today is regarding images, and in this top tip we'll explore sources of images that you can use in your blogs, presentations, etc. Now the question is, where can we get free images to use in our various blogs, presentations, products, etc. There are quite a few resources online, and I'd like to point you to some of those today. Okay, the obvious starting point and the place a lot of people will go to initially is Google Images. A great source of images. There's many different images on there, but practically every subject you can think of is covered. But one thing that you must be aware of with Google Images is the implications of the copyright. Now you'll find that the vast majority of the images on Google Images are subject to copyright, and you really run a risk if you just download them and use them in your work. So you do have to be very careful of that. I did have an instance of someone who used an image from Google Images in his work, put it onto his blog. He was actually found out and sent a bill for $300. So then you're sitting with the option of either deleting the image and replacing it with something else, or paying up for the copyright. So these things do happen, so just be careful if you are using images from Google Images. But that's the first and most obvious source to go to. Now that was a little bit about Google Images, and we talked a little bit about paid for images that carry a royalty. But what about the alternative sources of royalty-free images? In other words, images you can use with no royalty attached to them whatsoever. So here are my top recommendations. Now don't worry at this stage about writing them down, because I'll give you a summary slide at the end that you can either screen capture or you can take notes from. So the first one I'd like to talk about is a site called Stock Exchange, and you can find that at www.sxc.hu. Excellent site for free images, and in fact this was one of the very first sites that I used to go to when I was looking to obtain images for my work. They do have free images on there. There's a large selection of them, as well as they have paid for images as well. But certainly the free images, there's a big resource there that you can access and use these things in your work. So that's www.sxc.hu. As I say, don't worry about writing these down now. I'll give you a summary at the end. The next one I want to look at is a site where they say you can find and share outstanding free images, and it's a site called Pixabay, which is www.pixabay.com. Now there are some outstanding images here, all sorts to choose from. Very useful resource if you're looking for images to use in your work. Now how about a huge database of over 19 million. It's 19 million freely usable media files. That's a huge amount to be able to access. And for this we go to maybe a little bit lesser known site is Wikipedia Commons. And Wikipedia, of course, is from the Wikipedia stable. This is the resource for the royalty-free, freely usable images. The address is www.commons.wikimedia.org, and any of the images on here, over 19 million of them, you can use in your work with no problems with copyright, nothing of that nature. So an excellent resource to access for images. Okay, so that's it. In this top tip I gave you some excellent resources for downloading free images. And I just thought I'd add something at the end. By the way, if you need some textures for backgrounds or to use in your web pages, for example, the texture could be something like a brick texture or a wooden texture, or anything of that type, a paper texture, a cloth texture, just basically a texture that you could use as a background or elsewhere in your work. A good site to look at for this is a site called www.lostandtaken.com, and as you can see from the screen capture there, various textures. They are free. You can make a donation to the site if you want, but basically you can help yourself to these images and these textures for free. So that's about it for this top tip, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find it useful and you can use these images in your internet marketing work. That's it from me for Les Blythe for this top tip. Talk again soon. Bye bye for now.